The Community Shield is right around the corner, and you know what that means, another trophy for Erik Ten Hag. Now you might be asking, Dan, why are you so confident going into this game? And I'll tell you why, because Manchester City have lost their last 3 consecutive Community Shields. Now, yes, this could mean Manchester United get absolutely pummeled tomorrow at Wembley, but I'm very confident going into this game because City have lost to 3 different sides in their last 3 Community Shields. Leicester in the 21-22 season, Liverpool in the 22-23 season, and Arsenal at the start of last season for the 23-24 season. So they might have won 4 in a row, but they're going to lose 4 in a row when it comes to the Community Shield. Now, yes, United haven't had a convincing and a great pre-season. Obviously, we ended the campaign with a -2 goal difference, and it's not great, but we did score 6, we conceded 8, but when you look at the likes of when Tom Heaton played a few games, Onana was a bit shaky, chopping and changing the defence. Pre-season doesn't really matter, it's practically just a fitness test. But obviously you have to highlight certain players and which players kind of stood out. And a few of them players for Manchester United during pre-season are definitely going to be playing in this game against Manchester City. But United in pre-season, we got 2 wins and 3 losses out of our 5 matches. But what I was the most excited for coming out of pre-season is that majority of the players that played in whichever team it was for Erik Ten Hag, they understood his tactics, his formations, and the instructions he was giving to certain players. And I think that's a massive positive going into the game, that certain players, especially starting 11 players or players that are pushing to be in the starting 11, you know, they're understanding the requirements of Erik Ten Hag and they want to impress. So these players are going to be going above and beyond to impress our manager and stimulate when it comes to performances. But it's time we talk about Man City as well. Obviously, their pre-season, again, for Man City levels, it wasn't a great pre-season for them. 4 matches, 1 win, 1 draw and 2 losses. They scored 11 goals but also conceded 11. And the frightening aspect of this is that Erling Haaland had a full pre-season. No doubt he'll be involved in tomorrow's game for Manchester City. He scored 5 goals in the 4 matches, and without a doubt he's going to be City's key player in this game, because for the likes of Phil Foden, Rodri, John Stones, Kyle Walker have all been announced that they will not be available for this game. So maybe Kevin De Bruyne might be a key player. We know the quality that he brings, but in recent derbies he hasn't turned up, and it is still a friendly, you could say. So will the Man City really turn up? I'm not too sure, but I think this is a great opportunity for Manchester United to boost the morale going into the 24-25 season, because let's be honest, we haven't started strong over our last few seasons. So starting strong, having a huge boost by beating Man City in the Community Shield, I feel like will give us a lot of positive energy going into the season. But yeah, talking about Erling Haaland, I think he'll be City's key player. Now, it's hit and miss with Erling Haaland. He can either score a hat-trick against us, or if we man-mark him, tight mark him, he'll struggle. And if we also make sure that players like Kevin De Bruyne don't feed him the ball, then we can definitely make sure Erling Haaland is very ineffective. And for this player is going to be in the starting 11, I feel like he's going to be United's key player, and that is Lisandro Martinez. Now, Martinez didn't really get a pre-season with United. No doubt he's played a few behind closed door matches or a few training fixtures throughout the week, but yes, he was out winning the Copa America with Argentina alongside with Alejandro Garnacho, and Martinez has been a crucial figure in that dressing room when it comes to that tournament, and he was nominated as one of the centre-backs for the team of the tournament, which for me is a massive honour, especially with Lisandro Martinez. And he even scored a top-class goal in the quarter-finals of the Copa America, so his form is absolutely brilliant, because if it wasn't for Lisandro Martinez, Argentina probably don't win that game against Ecuador when they drew 1-1, and that was thanks to Lisandro Martinez's goal. But I feel like that going into this game against Man City, Pep Guardiola will probably be trying out the likes of the youngsters that they have, like Oscar Bob and maybe James McAtee as well. So I'm looking forward to it, because It's both teams not at their full strength, but no doubt it'll be still a very competitive match, and I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, derby games are always a thrill. Derby games are always exciting, so I am looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to having my team back, Manchester United. I'm looking forward to seeing my team back in red, and I just can't wait for this season. But last thing about Lisandro Martinez as well is that after the FA Cup final, Pep Guardiola, Man City's manager, if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know if you don't know, but he came out and said and spoke personally about Lisandro Martinez after that FA Cup final performance, and he turned, I'm just getting the quote here now, and he turned around and said, when he's fit, he's top 5 centre-backs in the world. He's just been unlucky with injuries. That there is spot on, and the fact that one of our biggest rivals manager is saying that about our centre-half, for me, is a massive compliment, not just because he's Man City's manager, but also because it's also Pep Guardiola, without a doubt one of the greatest managers who've ever managed in football, and I think that's a massive compliment, and I think Lisandro Martinez would have heard that and would have been over the moon with that compliment. But it's not just Lisandro Martinez as well. There's another player for this game that's going to be crucial, and we've definitely missed him during pre-season. Bruno Fernandes, our captain. He showed up Kevin De Bruyne in the FA Cup final, and without a doubt, for me, one of the most underrated players in the Premier League, possibly even the world. I think Bruno is so underappreciated. Yes, he likes to have a little moan, but so does everyone's wife. Like, you just deal with it, you get on, you do your jobs, and you just chill and enjoy your life. So for me, Bruno Fernandes is a key player. He's like a woman in your life, you know. Might have a bit of a moan at you, but you know what they bring to your life is something that you can't live without almost. But yeah, I believe that Bruno Fernandes is also going to be a key player in this game. We saw what he was like in the FA Cup final. We know what he brings to the team, and he's been a massive miss. Will he start? I think he will, but obviously Ten Hag might go for a different approach. He might go for a team that's been entrusted throughout pre-season, and then he'll start introducing the likes of Dalot, Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes, for example, throughout the team in the second half almost. But how do I think United will set up? That's a great time, like a great segment, we could almost say, to get into it. So I feel like United will set up with the 4-2-3-1 formation. I expect Andre Onana to start in net. There have been recent information released that Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw are all doubts, but Maguire is travelled to London with Manchester United for the tie against Man City. Shaw and Lindelof are yet to be seen, but Maguire going, that's a huge boost. So for me, you have to go with Diogo Dalot as the right back, our player of the season last season. He definitely has to come back into the team. Wan-Bissaka as well. I thought he was great. Obviously, there is the links of him leaving for West Ham, but he's still a Manchester United player at the end of the day, so I would stick with Wan-Bissaka. The centre-backs, I probably would think it'll be Johnny Evans and Lisandro Martinez, but that depends on if Harry Maguire is fit or available or not. So I don't think Ten Hag will force it if he doesn't need to, almost, because let's be honest, the Community Shield is a big game when it comes to bragging rights, but it's not really an impactful major trophy in my opinion. It's just, you know, an excitement for the best teams that performed last season. Obviously, United winning the FA Cup and Man City winning the league. But yeah, obviously with the midfield as well, I do think it'll be a midfield three of Casemiro, Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, and a front three of either Rashford, Amad Diallo and Sancho, or we could see the likes of Xerxes involved as well, and maybe Rashford or Sancho on the wings, or Amad Diallo as well. I don't think Ten Hag will start Xerxes, but I do feel like he will be involved. So I'm looking forward to seeing Xerxes' debut at some point tomorrow. But if I'm basing it off a score prediction as well, it's hard to call because it's a derby. But I called the last one 2-1 in the FA Cup final. So I think for this one, I'm going to say either 1-1 or 2-2. But United win on penalties. That's the way I'm going for it. Obviously, it doesn't go to extra time, I believe. So it'll be straight penalties and we'll just go into it. But I've been your host, as always, so thank you for watching. Please leave a like on the video, comment down below your thoughts and predictions for the upcoming derby, the Community Shield match, and subscribe if you are new. We've recently hit 1,900 subscribers, so if you can reach that 2k milestone before the season starts, I would be very, very grateful if we could reach that milestone. But anyway, that's been enough for me. I've been your host, Dan, as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.